Hi again, everybody. Mike Goldberg, ProBox TV. We're going to discuss the light heavyweight division. We all know what Dimitri Bivol did in the fight against Canelo Alvarez. Canelo went up in weight, but Bivol proved to the world how great he truly is. Speaking of greatness, we've got Superman, Roy Jones Jr., Paulie Malignaggi, Antonio Tarver, not one but two doses of Magic Man. All right, let's talk about the performance by Gilberto Ramirez. He becomes the mandatory. And oh, by the way, the first Mexican super middleweight champion. The first. Yes, that is a true fact. Is he ready for Bivol? Should he be next? And how impressive was his performance?
First of all, it was very impressive. But Zurdo Ramirez has been very impressive throughout his career. I think he's been sort of the Loch Ness monster type, where, people wonder how good he is. They see him every once in a while and say, yo, this guy's good. And then he's, through that contractual issues he had, promotional issues he had, they've never really seen his brand grow to where it should have been. This is a top-level fighter. Julian Chua, is his trainer, a very young trainer, up-and-coming trainer who's been working with some very good fighters and getting the best out of Zurdo Ramirez. And clearly, based on the recent performance, he's clearly getting the best out of himself there. So you wonder, we need to see this guy against the top level, the upper echelon. He's a problem for everybody he's faced. He's been very good. He's got a couple of key wins. Somebody like Sullivan Barrera on his record as well, who, Sullivan Barrera, who is a Cuban fighter who has had some solid wins himself, or has a win over current world champion Joe Smith. Zurdo beat him handily. So we talk about this kind of situation and we say, okay, we need to see more of Zurdo. There's a demand now. It's up to his team to manage that demand or create that demand first and then manage it in the right direction. You don't have to do much managing. He's the mandatory now for Dimitri Bivol.
Right.
The win of Dimitri Bivol over Canelo Alvarez sparked some light into this weight class, which is full of very good fighters, but now there's some crossover notoriety. Dimitri Bivol suddenly is the prominent figure of the weight class. Yes, he's looking for Canelo. Personally, I don't know that Canelo is going to be chomping at the bit to get right back in with him. So if that's the case, Bivol must fight Zurdo Ramirez. It's not the conventional, convenient way because you can make a lot more money with a Canelo rematch. But if you're going to stay a light heavyweight, we talked about not locking up the belts and allowing the top fighters to get the title shots. Bivol strikes me as a guy who wants to fight the best. He's about more than just a product. He's about just being the best first. He may be feeling that, okay, now that I've beaten Canelo, I deserve my pay and my rightful pay in the rematch. Well, you know what? If Canelo doesn't want to fight you, you can't hold a gun to the guy's head and make you fight him, make him fight you. Now it's your responsibility to fight Zurdo Ramirez if you want to hold on to this WBA World Light Heavyweight Championship. This is a monster fight. This is a sleeper. I'm telling you. If they make this fight, for me, this is a better fight than Bivol against Canelo. Right. Bivol versus Canelo actually is the one people talk about because Canelo, again, has that crossover notoriety. But Bivol versus Zurdo Ramirez is actually the more risk fight. It's the better fight. It's the more entertaining fight. Let's really be honest here. If we get around all the hype, Bivol Canelo wasn't close. It wasn't competitive. It wasn't even a good fight. It was pretty one-sided. I don't see much possibility for the rematch, no matter what weight class they have it. Zurdo is hungry. He's undefeated. His promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, has mentioned that he wants him to reach 50-0 so he can match Floyd Mayweather's record. Take that the way you want to take it because obviously Floyd's 50-0 and Zurdo's 50-0 can probably be a little bit different. But nonetheless, Zurdo, it's dangerous. If he gets to 50-0, I got to see it against at least Bivol. I got to see him on the way to get to 50-0. He's got to take on a guy like Bivol who now has the major notoriety to go along with the top-level talent that he is.
30 years old, 44-0, 30 knockouts. Pro since 2009. Roy, you were saying before, it's the redheaded Mexican, Canelo Alvarez, which is one of the reasons why Zurdo, he's not getting all the love because that spotlight on Mexico right now is so bright on Canelo that this bit of greatness, it's not getting that light. Well, it's going to move over if he gets this opportunity. But Roy, that's the choice. It's one very dangerous, pound for pound best in the world in Canelo, again for Dimitri, with a chip on his shoulders, you mentioned, or the southpaw who is worthy and mandated. Pick your poison.
Well, once again, like I said, and I hate to keep going back to this point, but you got, again, a southpaw versus an orthodox in this kid versus Bivol. Yes. Always going to make for a great fight. Yeah. Only difference this time is the Mexican fighter would definitely be the bigger guy coming into the ring. You understand me? So that's going to make a difference. People don't think it does. That's why Bivol was able to kind of walk through what Canelo through. He was much bigger. When me and Mike did the exhibition, I was 210, he was 220. It seemed like a 10-pound gap. It felt like more of a 60-pound gap because he's used to carry more weight than me. So he's a bigger frame than I am.
Right.
This guy's a bigger frame than Canelo. He's a bigger frame than Bivol. You understand me? So that's going to create some problems right there. Now, what we're going to find out is how bad does Bivol want to prove that he's the man of the weight division? Because if he wants to prove that, this guy has to be dealt with right now. If you don't deal with him right now, you don't want to be the man of the weight division. So he said he wanted to be the man.
That's true.
Now you get to prove to us, because don't chase somebody that don't want to fight.
Right.
Go fight the next best in the weight class.
He beat the man, but a man who was moving up to 175 for the first time in his illustrious career. All right, you be Dimitri Bivol. I know who you would pick because you want the biggest challenge, but what fight should happen next?
Well, with Bivol taking such a short piece of the pie, when you look at the first fight, I'm thinking he deserves a play to maybe pick someone that, you know, can bring that big fight feel to the table. Is Ramirez a pay-per-view type of fight? Could be. We just don't know yet the interest that fight will hold.
But isn't that crazy? Ramirez, everything he's achieved, and coming off that big win, that's one of the things we talk about in boxing. Is he a pay-per-view fighter? It's kind of crazy, right?
He could possibly
Right,
have
Antonio?
pay-per-view
No,
talent.
and I'm not saying yes or no, but it's puzzling at times, isn't it?
Well, we know, with
We know what it's about.
The 44 wins, it's a lot of wins to have, just now really making a name
Sure,
for yourself.
sure.
So say the first 30 was behind closed doors. He's working out all the kinks. He's working on his ability, his skill set. He's honing his skills. Now he's ready. Now it's time for the spotlight to see him against another quality opposition, so that, this is what brings out the best in these fighters. So maybe it might not be the next one because Bivol feels like he deserves a play on the next fight. But then he's going to have to show that, like Roy just said, there's only one man that can stand on top of this weight class,
Yep.
and it's me. That's what Bivol is trying to prove. In order to prove that, he got to go through that monster, Ramirez.
And I'll tell you, listen, I can understand Bivol wanting to angle towards Canelo first. Like I said, Antonio said, he wants a bigger slice of the pie, deservedly so. The sporting fan in me wants to see Bivol against Zurdo. That's the better fight. Personally, I think
That's the one that should happen.
Personally, if Zurdo beats Bivol, you can make an all-Mexican clash at heavyweight again. I mean, you against the guy that beat Canelo, against the guy that beat Canelo. You can sell it in 100 different ways. Having said that, it's not a guarantee that Zurdo does beat Bivol. It's that kind of fight. You put it right in front of me, and I'm looking at it, and people that aren't familiar with Zurdo are gonna say, "Oh no, that's a blown up record. Bivol will beat him because now Bivol's the man of the moment." I've seen Zurdo fight. Zurdo's tough. Zurdo is difficult to deal with. So is Dimitri Bivol. I was one of the ones, and we on this panel were the ones saying, "Don't sleep on Bivol against going into the Canelo fight." So we know what we're watching here, and I'm telling you, Bivol against Zurdo is the better fight. I wish I could give this knowledge to all the fans out there so they could demand this fight more than the Bivol versus Canelo
you can
rematch.
here on ProBox TV.
Make sure you watch it. Make sure you're
That's
paying
it.
attention to it and understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is the better fight. But if Bivol cannot get Canelo back in the ring, then hey, listen, nobody's bigger than boxing. Nobody's bigger than the sport. This is the mandatory. You've got to go handle the mandatory. I understand. I feel for you that you can't get the Canelo fight, the rematch, all the money. You got to fight Zurdo. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to say this because we're talking about the light heavyweight division, right? Let me just go ahead and throw this out there too, though, Paulie. I'm not mad if y'all go out there and say that Bivol wants to take his little easy fight because he deserved, like Tarver said, more of the pie in the last fight. He won it. So that should give us room to give him one moneymaker because he deserves it, right? But I'm not mad at all if y'all go ahead and say, let's do this. Let's put this Mexican killer we talking about Ramirez against Arthur Beterbiev. How dare you? Hot
Hey,
dang
don't
it.
sleep on Joe
Hot
Smith.
dang it. Hot
Joe
dang it.
Smith out there.
Hot
He's my
dang-
New Yorker, Joe
yeah,
Smith.
Yeah, I know about Joe Smith too, but this right here is just, to me, these are, like he said, there are levels to this.
Levels.
Joe Smith lost to the kid that this guy
Barrera,
beat, Sullivan Barrera, who this guy stopped in 4 rounds.
Yep.
There are levels. Not I like Joe Smith. And he's a good puncher, but Joe's level is a little bit lower than this level.
I
These
agree.
guys
Can't
are
agree.
Olympic level
fighters.
amateur fighters. You
Top
understand where I come
fighters,
from?
A fighters, yep.
Joe Smith never was that type of amateur fighter. He got good power and it catapulted him to be a good pro fighter. But he's like one of Mike Tyson situations.
Yep.
Mike couldn't make the Olympic team, never will.
But his punching
as a
power
pro,
transcends
he
the
won,
pros.
he won the best ever. So, I'm looking at the levels right now, and Bill Biff and this kid, level-wise, is a good fight.
Bivol's
for sure.
star has never shined brighter. Let's say Roy does, Canelo says, all right, let's do it. And Dimitri says, all right, we'll do it at 68. And Canelo beats him. Does that take away from his light heavyweight dominance? Does it pull away a little bit of the attraction from Dimitri if he were to? Because people aren't going to go, oh, well, that one was 60. Real fight fans will. But would that take a little bit of the star and the spotlight off of Dimitri?
No, because the only guy that can
I
get
was
away,
hoping you would say that.
the only guy that can get away with going down in weight was Benoit Hopkins, because he went down in weight, and I was the one who told him to go do that because that was the best thing for him to do at that time.
Right.
But he went down and beat up the little junior middleweights, and middleweights come up to middleweight, so he got credit for that because he was old. He's an antique. But you don't get credit for going backwards, so you definitely can't hurt you for going backwards, because we know you go backwards, it's going to pull from you.
Right.
You understand me? When you go up, it doesn't pull from you. So him going backwards, if he lost, that wouldn't hurt Bivol's legacy. He went backwards. He showed you at his comfortable place, at his comfort level, what he could do with this same guy.
Sure.
So it doesn't hurt him to go back. Now, for him to go back and try that, because I knew before that he could make 68,
You
because
did say
I've
that.
been knowing
Yeah.
it. I knew he could make 68 before. He said a long time ago, I could fight 68 or 75. So it might not bother him much, which is why I think Canelo should just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to bother him much. But a guy like this guy, Ramirez, might be a little big for him too. Because Ramirez came in the ring last fight, 200-something pounds. That's saying a lot. You understand me? That's saying a lot. So you got to be very careful in those situations. But no, losing, if he went backwards and lost, that would not hurt him.
I love that
And
you
you know
said
what?
that. Yeah.
I'll kind of add to that. While I agree with Roy, I think Canelo should probably stay away from Bivol. I don't think he beats Bivol no matter what the weight class is. Let's say, for argument's sake, as you pose the question, if Bivol goes down in weight and he loses the fight, you're asking does it hurt Bivol's stock in potentially making the Zurdo fight? Now you're coming off 2 big promotions against Canelo Alvarez. Even if you won one and lost one, you went from an unknown top-level fighter to now back-to-back promotions in a Canelo Alvarez fight. Everybody's been hearing about you forever now because you're in back-to-back promotions against the biggest star in boxing. So even if you lose the second one, which I don't think will happen, but for argument's sake, if he loses the second one, if Canelo even fights him, you can still take that momentum into the Zurdo fight. Now everybody knows you. You can beat Zurdo and get credit for it, or Zurdo beats you and suddenly gets all the notoriety that he's been deserving for a while, right? And then we can make Zurdo and Canelo. Who knows? You can just keep adding to
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
And nonetheless, there's possibilities are endless. Listen, I could keep going and going on this subject matter because it's what ifs. Boxing fans at home, you guys love to talk about this kind of stuff all the time. As long as we get the fights though at the end, that's what's important. And these fights seem to be happening more. That's what we're trying to push here.
And in here on ProBox TV, the global launch, $199 a month. We're set up. Get the app on Apple, your Android device, iOS, Amazon Fire Stick, Google Play, Apple TV. We're here. Find us. ProBoxTV.com. That'll zoom you all the way to where you need to be, and you need to be here on Friday night because Jean Pascal and Meng Feng Long want to get in this conversation. Antonio, if you're Ramirez and he is, quote unquote, put on the shelf a little bit because Dimitri is going to do something different, that's frustrating. That's one of the things that has frustrated boxing fans for decades.
Yeah, it's tough, especially when you have that hunger to be the man and you got a few fighters in front of you, but then they have schedules too.
Right.
You just got to be patient because
But technically, he doesn't have a few fighters in front of him. But the way the boxing world works, there are a few in front of him.
Yeah.
There are a few potentials in front of him, right?
Well, timing is everything.
Right.
And a lot of times you got to wait your time. You know what I mean? Because a lot of moving pieces, things, other fights.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, and I am pleased to be standing here in the ProBox TV Event Center as we get set for our global launch tomorrow night. Now, ProBox TV is going to serve China like never before. I introduce you to my good friend Kurt Lee. Kurt, tomorrow night, our main event features top-ranked IBF light heavyweight contender Wong in the ring.
现在介绍一下选手，来自加拿大的 Pascal 和来自中国的孟凡龙。
Our motivation for creating ProBox TV is simple. Boxing fans have been taken for granted for way too long.
我们创造 ProBox 的初衷很简单，全民等这一天等得太久了。
They have been underserved regarding the quality of content. We are here to change that right now. We are here to be your boxing champ.
全民没有办法欣赏到高水平的拳击赛事，但是我们来了。
But not just here. ProBox TV has partnered with KOTV in China. Now, KOTV will provide unprecedented coverage of China's best, China's next, and China's young developing superstars.
不仅如此 ，ProBox TV 与 KOTV 在中国展开了独家的合作。KOTV 为中国最好的选手提供了赛事、灯光和舞台。
KOTV will provide a spotlight on the sweet science at a level infinitely higher than the great country of China has ever experienced.
而且呢 ，KOTV 将为中国的选手带来前所未有的观赛体验。
Bringing boxing coverage to China, as we have assembled a dream team unlike any other. Our big four are our partners, fully invested in this long overdue evolution of the sport that defines them. Boxing is in their DNA.
这个 APP 是由我们的梦幻四人组一起打造的，为中国拳迷提供的观赛平台，为大家带来最真实、最直接的拳击 DNA。
So let's introduce you all to our big four. A 9-time world champion in 4 different weight classes, the only man in boxing history to start his professional career at light middleweight and go on to win a heavyweight title.
那我们把这个梦幻四人组请上拳台。首先，第一位介绍的是4个级别的9次拳王，唯一一位由轻中量级打到重量级的拳手。
66 career wins, 47 by knockout. He is Superman, Roy Jones Jr.
66胜，4年7次 KO， 超人唯一拳师。
He is a 7-time world champion, recognized as the second greatest Mexican boxer of all time.
7次世界拳王，被称为第2位伟大的墨西哥拳手。
56 wins, 40 by knockout. Juan Manuel Marquez.
56胜，40次 KO， Juan Marquez。
After representing the United States in the 1996 Olympic Games, he embarked on a professional career that spanned 18 years.
1996年打过奥运会之后，转入职业拳击，有着18年职业拳击生涯的下一位。
5-time world champion, a magic man with unbridled enthusiasm, Antonio Tarver.
5次世界拳王，有着魔术师称号的 Antonio Tarver。
And let's add in another dose of magic. He remains as entertaining and unfiltered as always.
下一位介绍的不仅是魔术师，而且是一位性格特别鲜明的拳王，
Truly one of boxing's most brilliant commentators.
而且是拳击界最好的解说嘉宾。
2-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi.
2次世界拳王 Paulie Malignaggi。
Our big four are here. I want to tell you for the most powerful presentation of ProBox TV. Go to ProBox TV. Superman, I'll start with you. Why did you align yourself? Why are you so excited for ProBox TV?
First, I want to say good morning to everybody. God bless y'all. We have a successful day. I got involved because first thing was ProBox TV was catering to bringing boxing back to China, which is a big thing because we never had a network that gave us access to China. Second thing because we had a big four, myself, Pauline, Tava, and Marquez all together doing something to help boxing at the grassroots level. You feel me? Anytime you find somebody like Gary Jones who has an idea to help boxing from the grassroots level, you can't help but try to involve yourself because this is our life. This is why we are here. Third is because we also get an opportunity to give guys a second chance, which we got a last year's tournament. And fourth, when you got guys that you're training that you think it may be time to test them, you got a place to right here on ProBox. So all those reasons were my main thing.
All four, as in the big four. I'd like you to summarize that a little bit.
何为什么是说呢？他创立拳击 ProBox TV 的初衷呢？一个是因为这个为大家提供了一个非常好的直接的观赛平台，另外一个在中国我们和 KOTV 合作，为中国拳手提供了前所未有的观赛体验。ProBox TV 的创始人 Gary Jones 以及这4位一起。
Marquez, I have the same question for you. Why are you so excited? I don't know who has a bigger smile on their face every day, you or Antonio, but you love what's going to happen.
Right, and good morning, everyone. I feel happy, I feel excited to be part of this great team, and then I like to work. The sport of boxing is my passion. I love the boxing. I would like to talk with the best fighters, with the best partners, like commentators, and I feel very happy. I feel very excited to be here. And then ProBox TV will be the best boxing channel, and you need to work in the computer, iPhones, iPad, whatever you want, in every item, in every device.
马奎斯说呢，拳击是他的热情，参与 ProBox TV 也是他的热情。在这里，他可以和所有的拳手一起努力，可以和所有的教练员、幕后人员一起努力。不管你是用 iPhone， 不管你是用安卓，不管你用电脑，你都会在 ProBox TV 看到最精彩的内容。
Live events, Future Star Series, behind the scenes, inside the ropes content, daily podcast material.
我们有直播，我们有幕后花絮，我们有播客，一切你想要的都在这里。
Antonio Turner, Magic Man. See, you guys are going to have to smile at that battle later, Wong, man. Well, I'm telling you, you come in pumped up every time you walk through these doors. Why?
It's the future. I mean, I can see myself in all these young combatants, man. And once upon a time, that was us. So, you know, I know these guys have dreams. And to be able to achieve those dreams right here at ProBox TV and watch these guys grow and become the faces of the sport, champions in the game. I mean, who wouldn't want to be excited about that? You know, we're right here in Florida, you know, Central Florida, so that gives me a great feeling because a lot of the people that I know is going to come support this thing. But I just believe, man, this is the birth of something new. And if the vision is what we think it can be, we believe that this boxing channel could be something that changed the sport, revolutionized the sport, to give these young fighters opportunity that they haven't had before. That's why I'm here.
马胡说呢，这是拳击的未来，这是观赛体验的未来。而且作为一名退役的拳手，他能够对现役的拳手感同身受。他看到你们，就像看到当初的自己。而且呢，我们在佛罗里达这个非常炎热的地方，所有的人都会过来支持我们的赛事。所以说，这是拳击的未来，也是他参与的动力。
Powerful partner, Pauline Malignaggi, you are a big reason why we can say that we have the best broadcast team in boxing. You bring so much to ProBox TV. Put it in your words as you always eloquently.
Well, first of all, for me it's an honor to be sharing the stage and to be part of a company that has such mega stars in boxing, guys that I've always looked up to and really admired. And now to be able to work alongside them is really a tremendous feeling. And I think it's also a tremendous feeling for the fans that are going to get to watch us to acquire all this knowledge. I'll give you a chance to translate because I'm
一起，同事非常的兴奋。如果说有任何好的机会的话，这个就是最好的机会。
And now I'll personally say good morning to everybody, good evening to the fans in China, and good afternoon to depending on where you're watching. Because as we said, this is a global boxing app, a global boxing network, and so you can watch us from all across the world, anywhere in the world. And as Roy said, it's the first boxing app that will be available even in China. So we will greet our fans in China with this treat to be able to enjoy notes on professional boxing, fights in professional boxing, all things professional boxing. And we think that alongside the rest of the globe, it really can be a unifying thing as far as world boxing is concerned, because boxing, as we know, is a world sport.
大家早上好，中国的朋友们晚上好，别的地方的朋友们下午好。因为我们这个 APP 呢是给所有全世界的人设计的 ，KOTV 一切都是为了中国，我们有最好的观赛体验，有用户体验。那么我们所做的一切都是为了拳击，都是为了中国。
So having said that, this was a long time overdue for boxing. We know a lot of sports carry channels like this where they have all things covering just their particular sport. But with boxing, we didn't have that, and of course, it makes it more challenging with boxing being a global sport, even a global sport like say football, soccer. There's certain channels, certain networks dedicated in certain countries, but we have a full-on network that is available all across the globe. The way we get it here, you can get it in China, you can get it in Europe, you can get it in Asia, all over the world. All the same content we have here, podcasts, live fights and events, behind the scenes with our prospects and the up-and-coming young stars, as well as the last chance tournaments. Everything, and we will be bringing you more in the months and years to come. We will grow this app. We have a tremendous team here, as you can see, and we look forward to having you guys enjoy all of this.
拳击跟其他的赛事不一样，其他的赛事呢有很直接的观看的渠道，但是拳击往往没有。但是现在我们有了，我们在中国有了 KOTV， 那我们的KOTV 会提供直播、幕后的花絮、训练内容、播客，还有脱口秀，都会有。所以说我们的这个 KOTV 一定会给大家带来不一样的体验。
Our Big Four: Antonio Tarver, Roy Jones Jr., Juan Manuel Marquez, and Paulie Malignaggi. It is time for the official names for ProBox TV's global launch. Our main event is scheduled for 12 rounds in the light heavyweight division.
现在我们到了激动人心的称重的时刻了。我们的主赛今天是175磅轻重量级的一场较量。
Representing Canada as a middleweight at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens, the former WBO, IBO, the ring and lineal light heavyweight title holder from 2009 to 2011.
他曾经代表加拿大参加2004年雅典奥运会，在2009和2011年曾经荣获 WBO、IBO 全台杂志拳王称号。
He held the WBA light heavyweight title from October 2019 to July 2021.
从2019年到2021年，他荣获 WBA 世界拳王称号。
Holding a record of 35-6-1, 20 victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Laval, Quebec, Canada, two-time world champion Jean Pascal.
35胜6负1平，20次对手对手来自加拿大魁北克 Jean Pascal。
Oh, looks.
His opponent represented China as a light heavyweight in the 2012 Olympic Games in London.
他的对手曾经代表中国参加2012年伦敦奥运会。
The southpaw has a perfect 17-0 record with 10 knockouts.
左架选手17次17场零负10 KO。
He is the top-ranked IBF light heavyweight contender, fighting out of Shifang, China. Wong, Cold Blood Fan Long.
孟凡龙。
First to the scale, the two-time world champion, Jean Pascal.
Let him pose.
175 pounds.
Look down, John.
巴斯卡175磅整。
Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. Woo! Now look to the camera to the back. Good, baby. Top to the back. Camera at the back. Up top. Straight to the top. There
He
you go.
look good in the skin.
Ripped and ready,
There you
baby!
Perfect.
Jean Pascal.
Perfect, thank you.
You're doing top and bottom, right?
And his opponent, Wong, cold-blood Fernandez.
You got it. Need more headroom, or is that good?
174.6 pounds.
174.6磅。
Our main event, scheduled for 12 rounds in the light heavyweight division. The two-time world champion, Jean Pascal. The top-ranked IBF light heavyweight contender, Meng.
我们开始面对面，两届拳王 Pascal IBF 排名最高的选手孟凡龙。
哎呦，孟老师，你给我吃面条。Facing the camera first, man. Camera first. Hi, look at me. Thank you. Thank you. Up top.
Can we get the hat off? Can we get the hat off or no?
Thank you.
We have got ourselves a fight. Two-time world champion, Jean Pascal. Top-ranked IBF light heavyweight contender, Wong, cold-blood Fernandez.
Everybody look at me, please.
Hey guys, I want to take the time to thank ProBox TV for this opportunity for me. So I just want to thank Roy, Dover, Marquez, Paulie, Gary Jonas, because in this new era, ProBox TV is the new kid on the block, baby. Alright?
他说感谢这个梦幻四人组，感谢创始人 Gary Jonas， 这是拳击的新时代到来了。
Tomorrow we begin our last chance tournament. It's going to address the problem. You want to get up something to tell your peeps back from China.
感谢今天到来的每一位，尤其台上站的4个著名的拳王，也都是我的偶像，非常激动，也感谢喜欢我的、支持我的中国的拳迷跟粉丝们。 已经争中结束 ，I'm ready， 明天可以干。I'd like to say thank you everyone for showing up. Thank you to the big four on the stage. You guys are my idols. And thank you to everybody in China for tuning in. I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. About the last chance tournament, 8 super lightweights, all meeting at 140 pounds, each fight scheduled for 8 rounds.
下面我们来一场140磅8回合的拳击比赛。这是我们的 last chance， 也是最后的机会的系列赛的第一场。
First man to the scale, this combatant has earned his last 4 wins by way of knockout, holding a record of 14 victories, 4 defeats, 3 draws, 5 wins coming by way of knockout.
最近的4场比赛，他可以 KO 获胜14胜4负5次 KO 对手。
Holding a record of 14 wins, the Springfield, Massachusetts native is now fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Please welcome to the scale, Joseph Fernandez.
Joseph Fernandez 来自马萨诸塞州，但是在佛罗里达居住，有请。
His opponent made his professional debut here in the United States back in 2015.
2015年到美国进行了第1场职业赛事的中国拳手。
He is 11-3 with 3 wins by knockout, returning to the professional ring for the first time in 3.5 years.
11胜3负3次 KO 对手获胜，来自中国的。
From Ningbo, China, Jimmy Wong. First to the scale, Joseph Fernandez. $139.6 pounds for Fernandez.
139.6 磅。
His opponent, Jimmy Wong.
Still on me?
Go, Jimmy! Go, Jimmy! Yes, sir!
139.4 pounds for Jimmy.
139.4磅。
Hey. Let's go, Jimmy. Let's go, Jimmy. Look at me, guys. Face off, face off.
That's our first fight in our last chance tournament. Johnny Young and Joseph Fernandez.
Last chance 第1场比赛，王志敏对 Joseph Fernandez。
Curly, thank you very much. You have a final message to our great fans who will get to see ProBox TV on cable TV.
中国的朋友们，这是千载难逢的机会，大家千万不要错过这个比赛。感谢你们的支持，谢谢。Thank you, Brian.
Great job, Kurt!
Good job, Kurt. All right, our next matchup, Devin Castaneda and Sonny Fredrickson. First to the scale, a professional since 2014. He holds a record of 21 victories, 5 defeats, 14 wins by way of knockout. Born, raised, and fighting out of Toledo, Ohio, Sonny Pretty Boy Fredrickson.
Hey.
His opponent enters our last chance tournament holding a record of 17 victories, 5 defeats, 8 wins by way of knockout. Born and raised in San Antonio, Texas. Kendo, the tremendous goon, Castaneda.
San Antonio, baby. Come on, Kendo.
First to the scale will be Sonny Fredrickson.
Oh, yeah, you. Tremendo. Stay on the scale.
139.6 pounds.
Good job, Sonny. Good work.
Sonny Pretty Boy Fredrickson. His opponent, Kendo, the tremendous goon, Castaneda.
Underwear. What's this? Who had it first?
in the same mood this morning.
Stay there. Stay on the scale for the cameras. Kendo.
140.4 pounds.
Still on me?
Towel?
Kendo Castaneda Fredrickson.
Well, no, you're going four. There's more than four of those. These are the girls are on two, so it's a draw for
140.2 will be his official weight. Got it. You gotta get the .2 off.
It's 4-4.
Yeah.
But his underwear weight 4-2.
How do you know that?
My man,
We got the same underwear.
He weighed we will have the opportunity to get to 140. This is our match.
Come on, Kendo.
There'll be a rumble there.
24.
There you go.
Good fighters, great fight, baby.
Campbell, Castaneda, and Sonny Fredrickson. Next up in our last chance tournament, each fight at 140 pounds, each fight scheduled for 8 rounds. This man defines durability, enters this last chance tournament. Winner of his last 6 bouts, 5 of those coming by way of knockout. He holds a record of 21 victories, just 4 defeats, 13 victories by knockout. Born in Jacksonville, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He is Mr. St. Pete, Clarence Booth. His opponent, the West Texas Warrior, gets this last chance quarterfinal fight, holding a record of 15 victories, just 2 defeats, 10 wins, coming by way of knockout. Born in Midland, Texas, now fighting out of Los Angeles. He is the West Texas Warrior, Michael Dutchover.
Texas tough, baby. Texas tough.
Michael Dutchover. £139.8 for the West Texas Warrior.
Great fight. It's going to be one right here, baby.
St. Pete time.
Almost time. Who got this one?
Michael Dutchover and Clarence Booth. I accept the winner of our fighters in our third quarterfinal matchup in our last chance tournament. A proud Puerto Rican with ties in Philadelphia. Now training in Connecticut. 6 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome Jeffrey Torres.
Hey, after this win, I need all the fighters back, all the fighters on stage.
In 2019, his opponent fought the WBC lightweight champion Devin Haney. He is coming off a battle with WBO super lightweight titleist Arnold Barboza. He holds a career record of 26 victories, 5 defeats, 1 draw, 19 wins by knockout. Fighting out of Mexico City, Mexico, Antonio Toto Moran. First to the scale will be Jeffrey Torres. His opponent, Antonio Moran. The last chance tournament, an opportunity for 8 men to propel themselves back into the bright lights, into the spotlight, and rejuvenate a path that could end with a world championship. Antonio Moran Jeffrey Tour.
You know what I mean?
We wish them all the best of luck. After tomorrow night, there will be 4, and obviously down to 2. Okay, also featured tomorrow night our Future Stars series. The first fight, 6 rounds in the lightweight division. This man holds a record of 12 wins, 12 defeats, 2 draws, 8 victories by knockout. From Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico, Miguel Perez Aispura. Aispura will be coming to the scale shortly, looking to make the rest of his cut. We will get his official weigh-in for you. We introduce you his opponent. He will enter the ring tomorrow sporting a perfect 4-0 record, all 4 victories by knockout. His hometown is Orlando, Florida, but he is one of ProBox TV's future stars, living and training right here at the ProBox headquarters in Plant City, Florida. Please welcome Josiah Shirley.
He got caught up in Dallas. Are you on?
Gabe, do you want to step in and fight this guy?
140.6 pounds for Josiah Shirley. He will have an opportunity to get to 140 pounds. It is 6 rounds in the lightweight division. Miguel Perez Aispura and Josiah Shirley. Our final fight tomorrow, our Globe Watch, ProBox TV, another Future Star Series matchup. 4 rounds in the super middleweight division. Daniel Plunkes and Heinrich Caceres. Set to make his professional debut from Paraguay, fighting out of Miami Beach, Florida, Heinrich Caceres.
Maybe they're maybe because they've been traveling. They haven't even been able to train them. Yeah, I'll call them now and I'll find out. You must be fine. 167.8 pounds for Caceres. His opponent, victorious in his professional debut, scoring a 3rd-round TKO. A 13-time national amateur champion from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, now living and training right here at the ProBox headquarters, Daniel Iceman Plunkes.
You know what I mean, Jeff?
Milwaukee has boxes, baby!
$166.4 for the last man.
The Iceman is a badass.
Hold his ice.
Like those stoppages, baby. What's up?
Plunkes and Caceres scheduled for 4 rounds in the super middleweight division. So tomorrow night, it is Meng versus Pascal. Begins here in North America, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Watch it on KOTV in China. And of course, we have our Spanish broadcast of Untitled Road and the 7-time world champion, Juan Manuel Marquez. We have you covered. Now, stay right here because we will have live interviews from our ProBox podcast studio coming up soon. But one more time, I want to let everyone around the world know what is ProBox. Here we go. It's time to play.
Guys, can you stay there?
ProBox is something that gives us an opportunity to carry on long traditions.
So we know we're going to be able to inspire, motivate, encourage these fighters to do better.
Starting this career, I want to be a world champion.
Here we have our reputations on the line. Boxing comes first.
All boxing, all the time. All boxing content, all the time.
The young stars, the new faces of boxing.
In reality, we're gonna become synonymous with the boxing channel.
Just make it simple for everybody. What is ProBox TV?
Simple answer is ProBox TV is a boxing channel, right? If you're familiar with the golf channel and the tennis channel, the format's very, very similar. I felt like boxing needed its own channel. The networks weren't prioritizing boxing. Let's face it, in the United States, boxing falls down somewhere around 7th, 8th, 9th most popular. It needed its own channel so that it could prioritize it, it could give it the supporting content it requires. A live event without supporting content is a random event that people are not connected to. There's no fan engagement. So the idea behind ProBox TV is live events, but with all that supporting content that makes the live event a little more engaging, a little stickier.
Back in the day, we had no way to follow these guys. Now it's a new game.
We've got Roy, Paulie, Juan Manuel, and Tarver. We brought them in, and I offered them this deal because they're great commentators, okay? Not because of the amount of belts they have. Who better to deliver the supporting content than these guys? They come in here every Monday, Tuesday. It's not a joke. Like every Monday, Tuesday, these guys are here filming podcasts, talk shows, news, all sorts of supporting content. They're in the ring here with the young future stars, giving them the benefit of their wisdom. We call that the behind the scenes in the gym content. Yep. There's a tremendous amount of content that's going to be produced in the future. There's a reality show. We don't like to talk about it right now, but it's going to be a very cool reality show concept, and we're working on it. It should come out in the fall. So that's supporting content in a nutshell. You need that. These guys are committed to it, and I think the fans are going to love it.
We're bringing you something different here at the Boxing Channel to bring boxing fans back to boxing.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the White Sands Event Center here in Plant City.
Obviously, on the undercard, a lot of times what you see is these young kids, but most networks do not show the undercard. And what we've decided to do is give that undercard to the fans and show them these top young amateurs that we've signed. And I mean, no joke, these guys are phenomenal. One of my claims to fame is I signed Erickson Lubin. And Erickson Lubin has been and had a great career. I feel like I've got 7 or 8 Lubin-type quality prospects. And they live here, they train here, and they're getting the tutelage from these guys. But the idea was for them not to disappear. You take these top amateurs who are fighting other top fighters around the world, right? And suddenly they turn pro, and now because they're fighting 4-rounders and 6-rounders against weaker opponents, and suddenly they disappear. And it'll be 2-3 years before they pop up again. I don't think that's the right way to engage the fans in a young fighter. So what we've decided with the Future Stars series is it's an opportunity to really follow these young guys, to go along their journey, because it is a journey.
It is a journey.
Right. So these guys are going to work with them, and basically they've all taken this journey. It's a very interesting story if you tell it,
right,
of what a young fighter goes through when they turn pro, and you see their whole progression. Look, are they going to crash and burn? Are they going to fulfill their promise? I can tell you, I've had enough of them. Some have fulfilled and some haven't.
Yeah.
And if you get behind the scenes content of that through the eyes of these guys who are going to show it to you, it's an extremely interesting look. And yet, obviously, by the time they turn into contenders, they should have a much bigger following. The fans should be much more engaged. We call it living the life.
Yeah.
And we always tell these young guys when they start and they sign their first big contract, the guys, you just became a professional. You have to understand that it means. It means you have to behave like a professional.
That's it.
And that means live the life. You don't get to go out and have fun like everybody else. You don't get to party. You're giving up a portion of your youth. And you make that sacrifice. Now it's special because when you walk out that door and the lights are on you and you get that rush, and everybody's, applauding you, that's the trade-off. And they have to understand that. So we call it living the life, and yes, if through the Future Stars series, they will see them and watch them live that life. And what we've seen it all too many times before. If they live the life and they're willing to make those sacrifices, chances are they're going to become superstars or champions. If they don't, we've seen what happens.
That's absolutely right.
And you know what? I think it's going to be an interesting look for the fans to get to watch all this unfold.
These young kids are going to go from terrific prospects eventually to world champions, and you get to follow their journey all the way to the top.
Gary has blessed us with the ability to help control how this game goes.
So the Contender Series is an open platform. And when I say by that, obviously we've signed the Future Stars, so there's no confusion. We have signed these Future Stars because we want you to see them every 8 weeks and have their careers unfold before your eyes. As far as contenders, obviously, we treat that differently. It's an open platform to all fighters, all promoters, all managers. If you've got a guy that you want to put on TV, give us a call, and we're just making fights, just like ESPN used to, just like Showtime used to, and still does. We're just looking to make the best fight possible at the contender level. Now that means if you're, I want to set the criteria of the Contender Series, and I say it best this way: if you're a runner, if you're a holder, or if you're a low volume puncher, don't call.
Yeah.
We're not interested. We are trying to establish a level and a brand of boxing that is action-oriented and more fan-friendly. The NBA implemented the 24-second shot clock. The NFL has instituted numerous rules to improve the fan-friendliness of it. This is a problem in boxing, quality control. So we really want to set a more entertaining brand. So number one is action, evenly matched action fights. I don't like bad matchups. We don't like boring fights. That's our responsibility to make sure that the matchups and the fights are exciting. The entertainment value is only there when the fight is in doubt. So from that perspective, I think there's something to learn. Boxing should learn something from what the UFC did. No, it doesn't matter if you take a loss. If you are entertaining and you fight an entertaining brand of boxing, and you are competitive in a fight, but because you were going for it, you got clipped. They don't have to worry. They don't have to be so tentative in the ring that if I make a mistake, my career's done. That doesn't happen at ProBox TV.
We can do things here to make sure that boxing is thriving once again. I know that the fans can fall in love with that.
Yes, I think we have a bit of an unfair advantage here at ProBox TV. Right now, we're in our studios. It gives us, with a full-time production crew, it gives us an opportunity to create so much more content with the fighters, right? We have that flexibility. Our setup here at ProBox TV enables us to give so much more behind-the-scenes content with regards to a fighter. And yes, therefore, the fans will be a little more familiar with the fighter and, again, taking a page out of the UFC. Why did they have success? Do I think that MMA is a better combat sport than boxing? I do not. It's the best strikers in the world are boxers.
Of course.
Boxing's a much more precision sport. There's just 4 or 5 targets that you could land that the other guy's defending, but still it doesn't mean it has to be slow. And you can respect the fact that these are the best strikers in the world. If it's done right, I think and hope that MMA fans will come back to ProBox TV and give it a shot.
It's a reality that as professional fighters, we all have to face one day.
It's a 140-pound tournament that we call Last Chance. And we've invited these 8 fighters to come in here and participate in this tournament based on the fact that they were all very, very strong amateurs. They got off to very good starts in their career. They were undefeated at a point, and then they took that bump in the road, lost. And, you know, boxing can be cruel, as we talked before. Absolutely. You take that loss, you get thrown into the woodpile. They want you to be an opponent for the rest of your career. And I think a perfect example is Jordani Ugas.
Yeah.
Ugas was a top Cuban Olympian, came over, had a bump in the road. I think at one point he was 15-3. He even said it recently, he was going to retire. And then he got another chance. Louis de Cubas brought him back, gave him another chance. And, you know, he beat Pacquiao, and now he's about to fight Spence. That's a perfect example of what Last Chance is about. But think about it from the point of view of the Contender Series. It allows us to put 4 fights, 8 rounds, quarterfinals, 8 guys, that are going to sort out that night who the semifinalists are going to be. And these guys are all evenly matched action fighters. So it still fits the brand of Contender Series. And if you got those kind of fights, I mean, I don't want to diminish the co-main and the main event, but the 4 fights that are going to be in that tournament, they're going to decide the semifinals, in my humble opinion, can steal the show.
Well, hey, boxing fans, it's long overdue. Fight fans, it's what you deserve, and we are here to deliver.
We have a great captain in Gary Jonas. He's leading the way, and we're supporting him 100%.
We sit back here in the podcast room with the main event, Jean Pascal versus Meng Long. 2 very exciting fighters, 2 fighters who are ready for action. Antonio, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, I just want to ask questions. Both of you guys made weight, but I know when you're focusing on a fight like this big fight, how hard was it to get down to that weight? Was it a struggle, and did you do it comfortably?
称重手有点都过了，体重减下来的过程正常吗？
还好，很顺利。我昨天晚上就到了。
It was pretty comfortable. I was on weight last night.
They all say that.
I'll be honest with you guys. We're not living in an easy world, so making weight is never easy. But one thing about me is I'm a disciplined person. Because I'm a disciplined person, I'm a disciplined athlete. So I don't start to lose my weight like a month before a fight or 2 weeks before the fight. I'm starting losing my weight from day 1 of camp, like 2-3 months before the fight. So, you know, I start slowly. So last night I was making weight.
Beautiful.
So there you have it, guys. We are on weight. We are ready for action. We locked and loaded. Time to go. Back to you, Paulie and Juan Manuel Marquez.
Nice. Y'all did it like pros, man. Beating that scale sometimes the toughest opponent.
You better believe it, man.
I know about that.
Ali! Where goes it? It's right there. That's Ali. That's his coach.
guys doing? Jimmy Wong. Hello. My mic has no sound.
Wait.
Hello.
We're here at the post-weigh-in comments. We're here with Jimmy Wong, who's fighting tomorrow night in the Last Chance tournament. So we'll start with questions for Jimmy Wong. You made the weight. How was the training camp? ¿Cómo fue el entrenamiento para esta pelea?
训练营怎么样？跟大家介绍一下你的训练营怎么样？
从上个月23号来到这里的时候，差不多还有1个月不到，我就开始进入了备战的训练。训练在当我来这里的时候，这个训练营非常棒，非常棒。住的地方也很不错。然后训练的话这块，有3个教练，然后非常专业，也非常细心。总的来说，非常 OK， 然后备战的也非常充分。
I got here 23rd of last month. As soon as I got here, I came into full training camp. We have 3 professional coaches, a great living and training facility. Everything was good. I'm well prepared for this fight.
Dice que venió el 23 del mes pasado y se preparó muy bien. Tiene 3 entrenadores muy profesionales y se siente muy bueno preparado.
What do you expect in this fight? ¿Qué esperas para esta pelea?
你对比赛的结果有什么预计吗？
当然，比赛每个人都想赢嘛，所以说这是我第1场比赛，我会全力以赴，尽自己最大的把比赛打得精彩，然后争取赢下这场比赛。
Everybody wants to win, so do I. But I train hard. I believe I'm gonna come out as a winner.
Que todos van a ganar, que está pensando que van a ganar, que entrenó fuerte y que van a ver una gran pelea.
Okay, Jimmy Wong, we see you tomorrow. Good luck.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Oh, Roy, we'll head back to you in the studio.
There you have it. The weigh-in for tomorrow's night. Terrific event. We can't wait to get it started. I'm very excited. How about yourself?
Really excited, man. And don't miss the Contender Series as well as the Last Chance and the main event tomorrow right here on ProBox TV.
Main event, John Pascal, Meng Long. Let's go, y'all. It's time to fight.
Nice.
That works for us.
Good.
Sorry about that.
So we lost the fighters, you said?
They let them all.
Hi again, everybody. Mike Goldberg, ProBox TV. We're going to discuss the light heavyweight division. We all know what Dimitri Bivol did in the fight against Canelo Alvarez. Canelo went up in weight, but Bivol proved to the world how great he truly is.